Hello, I'm Ryan Hitchcock, and this week on the County Close-Up, I'm sitting next to Bob Blechy, who's not only has been a teacher of Neshannock High School, but a football coach, a track coach, and an athletic director, and you're also the chairman of the WPIAL. Is that correct?
Track committee, yes.
Track committee, yes. Now, for all those things, Bob, how did it begin? Like, how did you become involved with sports?
Well, I was really, since I was probably 5 years old. My cousins and my uncle, who was only 3 years older than I, we started way back probably in the early 1940s. Baseball, football, basketball, and it just grew on me. And from the time I was probably 10 years old, I wanted to be a coach. And it happened.
Now, recently, the Neshannock High School dedicated their football field to you. I know I've heard from many people that you're a very humble guy and you don't like to put yourself up on a pedestal. How did that moment feel for you, standing on the field when they dedicated it to you?
It's very humbling to see all your former, well, not all your former players, but a lot of your former players and assistant coaches and rival coaches, actually, and your family. It is very humbling, but it was also a very proud moment, I know, for them as well as I.
Now, out of all the sports that you've played and taught, what was your favorite one to participate in?
Well, actually, my favorite sport was baseball. I don't know if I was the best in that, but it's a sport I enjoyed most. I enjoyed football, also basketball, and I also participated in track and field. But baseball probably was my most favorite sport.
Now, you were involved in football, like playing yourself when you were younger, and track and field. What advice do you have to give to people to become better at a sport like those?
It's always been my feeling that you have to want to. I know today a lot of times the athletes participate not because they want to, but because their parents want them to. And if they don't have a desire to excel, they should take up something else, maybe video games or something like that. But they would be wasting their time and the coach's time. But most of the good athletes that you have, they have a burning desire to succeed and to excel. That's what I found out in my 50 years connected with athletics.
And what did you do as a coach to help your players become better and more motivated towards the sport?
Well, you always have to show them the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I was never one to rant and rave on the sidelines. Took that a lot from Harold Bury. Harold was very, I don't want to say docile, but he didn't scream and holler. He knew that the kids wanted to perform, and if he gave them the path and the tools to perform, they usually did. And that's what I tried to do. I patterned a lot of my coaching after Harold Bury, and moderate success.
Are there any other people that inspired you to coach, or like role models growing up as a kid that really made you just want to get out there and teach other people how to?
Well, yes, my high school coaches, Phil Breidenbaugh, Bill Klee, Gig Thomas, they were all at Newcastle, and they all were men who really were involved with youth. And I said, this is what I want to do. And Phil Breidenbaugh was probably my greatest role model.
And what motivated you to play all these sports and to do your best that you could do? Was there anything growing up that just really lit a spark?
Well, we didn't have cars back then. When I had a car when I was a senior, but that's all there was to do. We didn't have all the things that the youth today have to do, and it's sad in a way because a lot of them have great potential and they don't follow through on it because they never try. I tried everything just like all the other kids my age back in the 40s and 50s.
Okay, and one final question. What do you miss the most from coaching?
That's a tough question. Probably the association with the athletes, with the kids. To see the looks on their faces after a victory, and also to see the looks on their faces after defeat. A lot of times people ask me, what was your record coaching? I said, I was 0, whatever, and they said, well, you won games, didn't you? I said, no. I said, coaches don't win games. The students and the athletes win games. The coaches lose the games. And just to see the athletes after they achieve what they are trying to achieve, that's the motive. That's the greatest thing to me in coaching.
Well, Bob, thank you very much for coming, and it's been a great honor to just sit here and talk with you, because you are a very humble guy, and it doesn't surprise me that they named the field after you. But thank you so much for being here.
Well, Ryan, it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, more County Line is coming up next.